are set for action. Game number 3 of the 1995 NBA Finals is underway. And the Orlando Magic control the tip. They are in their road blue uniforms. Houston wearing the home white.
You can see right from the beginning what they're trying to do. They're trying to spread the floor. They're going to take it inside out and go to the basket. Now, here's the first three.
Anderson misses it badly, and Hakeem comes up with a rebound.
There's going to be a major key, keeping the Orlando Magic off of those glass backboards on the rebounding end, where they can either get second attempts or start their fast break on the defensive end.
Orlando dominated that category in game 1. Hakeem with a turnaround. No score. Just about a minute gone by here in the opening quarter. Hardaway.
Everybody's a little tight.
Grant working in. And he gets the roll. Orlando leading 2-0. Horace Grant, who really hasn't been involved offensively, trying to do a little more on the offensive end here.
Well, get him involved on the offensive end. They created a switch where Kenny Smith was caught down low with Horace, and that's going to be very awkward for that situation.
Or he nearly got that one to go, just showing his athleticism. And a steal. Elliott slams it down. Mario Ellie brings the house down as Houston gets his first field goal of the game.
And the way the Rockets got their first basket is by the way they set their tone defensively. They came up with a steal, were able to ignite their fast break.
Shaquille is fouled. The basket will not count. The foul was called on the floor.
Now, as you know, both centers, if they get in foul trouble, they have to back off. They cannot afford to get themselves where they foul out of this game. Now the Rockets defensively have got to come back inside quick when that ball goes into Shaquille O'Neal to help Olajuwon out so he doesn't get himself in a situation where he has 2 early fouls.
Hakeem picking up his first. Grant from the outside. He knocks it down.
Now, this is what's been missing from the first 2 games that the Rockets played, was Grant was not involved in the offense. It wasn't that he didn't shoot well, he couldn't get any shots.
Orlando with the early 4-2 lead.
And they've extended their defense. They're going to make Kenny Smith have to work to bring the ball up.
Olajuwon. Turnaround. Hakeem is 0 of 2. Anderson looks inside. Grant again. He's got it.
Now, anytime a team loses 2 games, they immediately go to the films. And they notice that the Rockets on rotation have been leaving Grant alone at the top of the key. And here they come to give him 2 shots.
Robert Horry taking it to the hoop. Didn't get the bucket, but there was a foul. Horace Grant is called for the personal.
Well, that's the way to stop the offensive players. Let's take a replay at it now. Robert Horry went to the basket strong. Unfortunately, he didn't get a chance to put it in the basket. He was fouled, but he wanted the 3-point play.
Olajuwon. Hakeem Olajuwon off the spin.
Now, they are not going to stop Olajuwon. What they're going to do is try to make him work for his points.
Hardaway for 3. Penny Hardaway knocks it down from long range.
It's interesting that Orlando has played a perimeter game early. Normally, you want to go inside to set the tone.
Drexler with a feed to Olajuwon. Drexler with the offensive rebound. 3-pointer came up short. And now it's Orlando looking to run.
Now, there's their style of basketball, up and down the floor.
Grant puts it on the floor. And a foul. 3-second violation, I believe it's called on the interior.
Now, the Rockets found themselves in a situation where they were lucky that they had penetration, but Shaquille thought that he was going to get another perimeter shot, got based, got himself set for the offensive rebounding and caught for 3 seconds.
Horry fakes the 3. Robert Horry able to knock it down.
Now, that's what Robert has done well as of late in these playoffs. He normally likes to shoot that 3-point shot, but the defense will run at it. He repositions himself and gets himself a nice 15-foot jump shot and cans it.
Hardaway with his team up by 3.
Now, the Rockets had to realize that this team was going to come out with an emotional set and play well. If they weathered the storm, they would be all right.
Shaquille fighting for the rebound, knocked into the hands of Drexler. Houston in transition. Ellie, three-pointer. Mario Ellie from downtown. We are tied at 9.
Ball movement. Off the break, they got the ball with in the hands of Clyde Drexler early. He's at his best when he can run the floor.
O'Neal with the extra pass, and Horace Grant with the inside stuff.
Now you can be assured that Rudy T in their first timeout will make adjustments that they're going to get Grant out of the game. He's been running 2 free and been able to get 6 points on 3 baskets.
Olajuwon one-on-one with Shaquille. Anderson snatches the rebound. Magic up by 2. O'Neal off the double. He missed it badly. Smith off the push. Pull-up jump.
Now what the Rockets have got to be very careful of is their shot selection. Number 1, and number 2, that they don't get Olajuwon to have to do too much of the offense without them contributing.
Anderson for 3. Nick Anderson just cannot find the hoop. Hardaway posting up inside to Grant. He lays it home. Horace Grant coming out very aggressive here in game number 3.
Now you got to remember that Grant is used to this kind of pressure playing for Chicago Bulls. He has 3 rings himself, so this is not foreign to him at all.
And he's got 10 points. A timeout call. Horace Grant with 10 of Orlando's 13 points. Grant getting buckets on the outside and on the inside. 6:19 remaining in the first quarter. Orlando looking loose. The Magic on top, 13-9. Horace Grant, 10 points on 5 of 6 shooting. Also 3 rebounds. Something that Horace does have to deal with on the defensive end is Robert Horry popping out of the perimeter and taking Horace out of his normal position underneath the basket.
Well, what Robert's going to have to do is make Grant have to play defense, and that'll take some of the energy away from his offensive game.
Orlando shooting 60% thus far.
And Will, that's a good sign for the Rockets. They're shooting 60% and the Rockets are only down by 5.
Drexler. Clyde Drexler with a tough shot on the baseline. (13-11). We are past the midway point of the first quarter. Hardaway leaning in. And a foul is called, late whistle. Kenny Smith is called for the personal. Hardaway pump fake. Smith was out of position.
Well, the one thing that the Rockets want to be very careful of, not just the Rockets, but both teams, there are no shot blockers on the floor other than Olajuwon and Shaquille in the way the referees are going to allow this game to go. When you get faked out of position, you've got to get help from the weak side if you want the shot block. You cannot do it yourself.
Kenny Smith, one of the heroes of game number 1.
And another thing that the Rockets have got to be very careful of, or any team that plays the perimeter shooting team, don't allow them to get inside. Make them beat you over the top.
Houston with the basketball down by 4. Olajuwon off the double team. Finds Smith.
Now, when Kenny Smith normally has a shooting like he's doing right now early in the game, expect to see Sam Cassell come in the game soon.
They will jump it up. Hakeem Olajuwon with fighting for the basketball on the floor. And Mike Mathis could not determine who touched it last. So they'll have a jump ball. A little bit too soon.
It seems like the ball was stolen by Shaquille from this vantage point, and I was right. And I enjoy being right, believe me.
Because you're so good at it. So Houston gets the ball. Shaquille a little bit premature in that tip-in situation. Alley-oop and laid home by Drexler.
And understand who threw that pass. Robert Horry is the best on the Rocket team with that alley-oop pass towards the basket.
We saw it last game. Horry going to Hakeem Olajuwon. This time it was Drexler on the receiving end. Hardaway short. Houston with a chance to tie or take the lead with a 3-pointer. Olajuwon. Air ball. Offensive rebound, Drexler, and he's fouled.
Now this is where Clyde has been so helpful to the Rockets from the guard position, is the rebounding. He's a big, strong guard that will go to the basket.
And you see it there, Drexler Able to get the pass from Ori. Drexler. Clyde Drexler knocks it down.
Here's another example of why the Rockets have been successful. Someone else now is stepping to the forefront. Clyde Drexler is shooting well, while Olajuwon is still trying to get his timing. Kenny Smith is still trying to feel his way. Robert Horry hasn't had any shots at all, so Clyde Drexler has elevated his game another notch.
Drexler is 3 of 4 from the field. He's got 6 points. And we're tied at 15. Scott, open look. He buries it.
Now that's a very good play on the part of Orlando. Why? Because you had Shaquille O'Neal receive the ball. He immediately looked to see what his teammates were doing before he started to make his individual moves.
Olajuwon with a jump hook. Silky smooth, Hakeem Olajuwon. Orlando up by 1. Scott with that three-pointer. Both feet were behind the line. Shaq.
Now, remember, Olajuwon already has a foul, so he could not be aggressive when that ball went into Shaq, and he didn't get help from his teammates to come in and close off those angles.
Olajuwon kicks it out. Smith steps in. Kenny Smith showing good form on that jump shot.
I can tell right off the top that the Rockets talked about the fact that they shot the ball so well in game 2 that Orlando's going to run out at any three-pointers, that they talked about repositioning themselves to get a basket, not necessarily a three.
O'Neal had a tip off his fingers, saved. Scott pull-up jump. Hardaway with the offensive rebound. O'Neal doesn't get the bucket to go. What a pass by Hardaway. O'Neal couldn't cash in. Smith for 3. Drexler. Rockets unable to get the roll. Hardaway in transition to the hoop. Coast-to-coast move by Penny Hardaway.
What a fabulous ball handling exhibition by Penny Hardaway. Coming down off the boards, going 94 feet, a little razzle-dazzle. The Rockets opened the floodgates and was able to score.
Olajuwon banks it home.
Now, the Rockets have got to be very careful. Orlando's doing a great job around the basket right now, rebounding, keeping the ball alive. They were able to get 3 looks at the basket on that last possession.
Grant off to Scott. He's got it. Dennis Scott getting involved offensively.
Well, the Rockets have picked up the rotation against Grant, so what do? They move the ball around one more time and get Scott involved now. That's great offensive awareness.
Olajuwon. He is so good.
He's better than that. If you watch him play every night, he comes up with something new depending on what defenses they put on him night in and night out.
It does not matter where he is on the floor. Hakeem Olajuwon will find a way to score. O'Neal. And as Calvin has been talking about, Hakeem Olajuwon has to back off defensively so he doesn't pick up his second personal foul. O'Neal is taking advantage.
The Rockets have got to do a better job stopping that pass by putting pressure on the passer.
Three-pointer, Ellie. Mario Ellie.
That being his second one, there's great ball movement on the part of the Rockets now. Both teams are doing a nice job by using patience offensively and moving the ball one extra pass.
A whistle before O'Neal's shot.
There's the second foul on Olajuwon for using the knee. There's 2 fouls, still with 1 minute and 22 seconds left in the first quarter. Now it becomes dangerous. Now this is where the Orlando Magic has outshined the Rockets by keeping themselves involved offensively. Now, the Rockets were able to stop this one from going in, coming down the other end, but you don't want to allow a team that has the talent that Orlando has to have too many looks at the basket. Penny here comes down. He's able to use the ball around his basket, around his back. Remember now, he's 6'7", and he can make things happen on a smaller guard and get inside and play a small forward position.
Hardaway 2 meters, and Orlando and Houston are tied. Orlando and Houston tied at 26 in Game 3 of the 1995 NBA Finals. You get a look at the veteran, Charles Jones. He has been in this league a very long time, 12th year out of Albany State. He graduated college back in 1979, only has 12 points in these playoffs, but Houston does not bring him in for his offensive ability.
Now, if the Rockets have got to depend on Charles Jones to score, they're in trouble. He's in to be the blue-collar worker. He's to do a lot of the defensive work, and if you're going to spend time guarding Shaquille O'Neal, you don't have time to think about scoring offensively.
Orlando's still hot from the field. They'll go right into O'Neal.
Okay, but there's the passing lane defense. Kenny's second foul. He reached out and touched Penny Hardaway as Penny penetrated to the basket. See, there's the mistake you make with a Penny Hardaway. Penny puts the ball on the floor so well with his ball handling ability. He shows a little head and shoulder fake that he's going to shoot it. Kenny runs out at him. Penny, being a great offensive threat, goes to the basket. Kenny instinctively puts his hands out and creates the foul.
But Rudy Tomjanovich has a luxury, and it's Sam Cassell coming off the bench for his first action of the evening.
But you don't want to have foul trouble on any of your stars.
Hardaway hits on a pair.
It's interesting that Shaquille O'Neal has not been to the foul line yet.
Magic up by 2. Cassell. Ori for 3. Rebound knocked out of bounds. And Orlando will have it. This crowd did not like the call.
Well, I can understand that. They're not going to like anything that goes against the Rockets. Now, you got to give this Orlando Magic team a lot of credit. They've played flawless basketball so far, except for that little travel on the part of Shaquille O'Neal. He got a little anxious. He noticed that Charles Jones, he had him in back, and he was going to take his size and use it to his advantage and take Charles to the basket, but he took one step too many before he put the ball down to dribble.
Orlando with its 3rd turnover of the night. Drexler backing in. Drexler with that quick first step. And he'll go to the free throw line.
Anytime that you get a Clyde Drexler being guarded by a Penny Hardaway, Clyde is good. They're going to abandon their offense, and they're going to go to a post-up type of a game. That simply means that they're going to take an individual one-on-one down low and let him use his individual ability. Now, here's where they tried to get help, but it was a little too slow.
Clyde the Glide Drexler trying to get his first championship ring. He had 2 cracks at it with the Portland Trail Blazers and came up short.
You know, if you talk to him, you know, he was on that dream team and he was successful in college, but nothing means anything to him now except to win a NBA championship ring.
He's got 8 points. Shaw nearly lost it, and he laid it off the window.
Now, there's an advantage that the Orlando Magic have. When you bring Brian Shaw off that bench, he's a quality player himself. He could be starting for a lot of NBA teams.
10 seconds to go in the first quarter. Jumping. Hardaway pushing the tempo. Scott will try and beat the clock. And that'll do it. That is the end of the first quarter here from the Summit. Game 3 of the 1995 NBA Finals, and the Orlando Magic showing some confidence. They're down 2-0 in the best-of-7 series, but here in the first quarter, they are leading the action, 30-28. Orlando on top. The Rockets will come from behind in the second quarter and try and make it a 3-0 series.
Transition defense, making the Rockets have to face them 5-on-5. Now, that's fine, but what you've got to get every now and then is some opportunity baskets if you want to especially take a lead.
And we are underway. Second quarter action. Houston down by 2. Olajuwon back on the floor. And he's working on Shaq. He's fouled.
What the Rockets got to be careful of, the Magic are doing a nice job defensively because the Rockets have very poor spacing right now. One player defensively can guard 2 men. So the Rockets are going to have to spread the floor just a little more if they're going to get that ball inside to Olajuwon where he can operate without having the defense come so quick against him.
Cassell with the backdoor cut. Beautiful pass by Hakeem Olajuwon. We're tied at 30. Illegal defense has been called on the Houston Rockets. That's their first infraction.
That was a little obvious. Now, the Rockets, we talked about playing the passing lane, but you have a tendency every now and then to drift a little closer when you see you need to help inside defensively. Now, earlier, Olajuwon did a nice job getting his teammates involved.
Shaw knocks it down from long range.
I tell you what, there's no quit in this young team, and there's no fear either. They're playing flawless basketball right now.
Some people felt they might be in awe. They haven't shown that here, as Cassell comes up a little bit short.
They're very aggressive, the Orlando Magic. They're pushing the ball down, trying to see if they can get themselves some opportunity baskets. If the Rockets back off one man removed or two men removed, they'll take the shot quickly.
Olajuwon makes his move. And a foul on the arm. Shaquille O'Neal came over, and he's called for the personal.
And that's his first personal in the game. Let's take a look at the foul now. Olajuwon gives it what they call a dream shake. He kept showing the ball. He goes inside and was able to get Shaquille to reach across his arm.
Now, you've seen Akeem Olajuwon since day one, Calvin. When did he start developing those moves?
Well, you got to remember now, big men every now and then get tired of getting beat on. 2 years ago, the play has gotten very physical for Olajuwon underneath. He started working on a fadeaway and getting the defense off their feet so he can slide inside, not so much trying to muscle over the defense.
I saw an interview with Akeem Olajuwon. He said that he was watching all the guards and forwards on his team to pick up some pointers, and obviously it's paid off.
Well, he used to get me up at 8 o'clock in the morning on the road to work on his ball handling.
Fast break basket for Sam Cassell.
The defense dictating the offense. Another great defensive play by the Rockets.
This is the 7th tie of the ball game. The Rockets can take the lead. Drexler razzle-dazzle. And Cassell lost the ball.
Clyde.
Ball knocked loose, nearly a turnover. Houston with the quick hands and a whistle.
There was a problem with the clock.
Sam Cassell off the steal, and he takes it right to the hoop.
I'm so glad to see Sam lay that ball off softly, opposed to trying to expend so much energy and dunk the basketball and then can't get back defensively. It takes a lot of effort for a small guy to be able to go up and dunk and then come back down and get back and get your defensive assignment.
One thing about him, though, Calvin, and I know you can relate to this, you can tell how much he loves this game.
Oh, you know, there's the old saying, I'd play this game for nothing if I had to. Unfortunately for them, they don't have to.
No, they don't have to. Shaw.
See, that's too easy. Sam made a defensive mistake, allowing Shaw to get his shoulder past his outside leg, and Olajuwon, with 2 fouls, could not afford to come over from the side and try to block.
Illegal defense has been called on Orlando. That is their first violation. The next one will result in a technical free throw.
Now, that defensive infraction was on Turner. Turner's guarding Charles Jones, so he's not too concerned where Charles goes, and Charles vacated the area, leaving Turner in the twilight zone to guard no one.
A timeout has been called here at the Summit in Houston, Texas. 9:27 remaining in the first half. Orlando up by 2.
Giving them. Brian Shaw has come off the bench early, got him a 3-pointer to get his confidence going, and now this puts pressure on the Rockets defense. They have to be aware of him.
Rockets are down by 2. Drexler working on Bowie, lost the ball, and a foul.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because when you talk about Bowie played in Houston for a couple of years. He was actually originally drafted, Anthony Bowie, drafted by the Rockets. And, you know, when you come back home, you normally want to play real hard. You have that intensity level up because you want to show your former teammates how well you're doing.
Tell you what, Calvin, it's a very interesting story because at first he couldn't make the team, and they wanted to keep him around, so he decided to help out, clean up the locker room, help out the trainer, just wanted to be a part of the organization. Quite a success story that Anthony Bowie is playing in an NBA championship series.
And he's a very fine young man. To get to know him off the floor is a treat also.
Bowie now in his 6th year out of Oklahoma.
That's not bad for someone that was cleaning up the trainer's room for a while, is it?
Not too shabby. Orlando up by 1. Brian Shaw has provided a spark off the bench. Shaquille O'Neal with a power move.
It's interesting that the Rockets have missed 2 free throws that would have tied the game at some point. And that's the kind of thing you expect to come from the Orlando team.
Orlando Magic called for illegal defense. Houston will shoot a technical free throw.
Yeah, that was the second infraction of illegal defense, which comes to a free throw position right now.
And from here on out, every time Orlando is called for that illegal defense, Houston will go to the line.
And you can be assured that the Rockets are going to try to feed on that. They're going to spread the floor more. They're going to be patient giving the ball in. Now, they've got to be careful that they don't try to pump fake the defense out of position, because that's also a violation.
37-35. Olajuwon in traffic. Horry. Lost it out of bounds. And Houston will hold on to it. 12 remaining on the 24.
Robert Horry is not a ball handler. He's a spot-up shooter. And he's going to play right into the hands of the defense.
This is Game 3 of the 1995 NBA Finals at the Summit in Houston, Texas. The Rockets leading 2 games to none. Orlando leading this game by 2. Olajuwon with the shot clock winding down, and that will be a 24-second violation.
Great defense on the part of the Magic to stay at home. When I mean stay at home, they were guarding the individual, and on the ball movement, they didn't start running around trying to help out. They saw what the clock was, the shot clock, and they forced the Rockets one more pass, which turned into a violation, a shot clock violation.
Here in the NBA, you have 24 seconds to get your shot off. If you don't get it in the allotted time, the ball is handed over to the other team. Anderson yet to get involved offensively. Shaw for 3. Drexler looking to run. The Magic get back on defense. Olajuwon with Shaq. The dream.
It's interesting that when that ball went down to Olajuwon, that everyone vacated their defensive assignment. They all ran to Olajuwon.
Another time. Ball was blocked, but it will be called a goaltending. Anthony Bowie will get credit for the bucket. Hakeem Olajuwon came literally out of nowhere.
Now, if you look, everybody runs to Olajuwon. Olajuwon turns baseline so that they can't get a chance to block it.
On the defensive end.
Oh, that was a good block. That ball was going up. Olajuwon took that ball to the glass, but
a tough call made. Rockets are yet to lead in this ball game. Drexler got it.
There's the lead you just talked about.
Clyde Drexler knocks it down from long range. Houston 40, Orlando 39. Bowie to the goal.
Boy, Anthony Bowie's being very aggressive with his penetration. Great move baseline, using his off hand. He's right-handed. He went to the basket strong with that left hand.
The Magic up by 1. Olajuwon. The spin.
There's the fadeaway that he worked so hard on. And it's unusual to see him miss that. Great defense on the part to not allow Olajuwon to get that rhythm.
Turner threw the entry pass to Shaquille O'Neal, and a foul was called. Sam Cassell is called, going over to help out Hakeem.
Well, you have Grant coming back in the game, along with Hardaway, who's had some quality minutes on that bench, resting. The Magic have been able to maintain their lead. Now they come back with their strong offensive weapons and try to push up a few more points against the Rockets.
Anderson had the ball knocked loose by Robert Horry, out of bounds. And we've got a timeout. Rudy Tomjanovich looking for his 2nd consecutive NBA championship. His team is down by 1. 6:51 to go in the first half. Orlando 41, the defending champion Houston Rockets 40. Magic 41, Houston 40, 6:51 to go in the first half. Orlando's been looking for that 3rd player, and they've got a couple of candidates tonight. Horace Grant is one. Brian Shaw is another. Both are on the floor right now.
2 unlikely players that you would really spend time setting your defense to stop have come up big for the Orlando Magic right now. So this simply means that the Rockets have got to be concerned about every player in blue that is on that hard floor.
The only negative for Orlando right now, they're shooting 61% from the field, but they're only up by 1. A turnover. Drexler on the move. Ori. And nobody there to retrieve the pass from Robert Ori. It goes out of bounds.
Robert threw that ball away trying to avoid the charge. Now, this is one of the mistakes the Rockets have made throughout the year. They've got to learn to stop and pop. They can't take it always to the basket using their athleticism to try to jump over people.
Shaw with a pull-up jumper. Nothing but net.
That's 9 points for Shaw. That's 9 too many for Shaw coming off the bench. He's outscoring all of the Rockets substitutes together.
Shaw only had 8 in game number 2. Drexler, tough shot. Anderson there for the rebound.
Now, Anderson has been very quiet himself. He hasn't scored any points yet, but he's just simply been involved.
O'Neal made his move to the basket, and he's fouled. Charles Jones underneath.
Now this is dangerous in the direction of the Rockets. The Rockets have had some opportunities to score, which they haven't done well. Now here's the foul. There's Charles Jones holding Shaquille, trying to keep him from getting that close position to the basket. They got to call that.
I'm sure Jones respects Shaquille, but I don't know if he wanted to hug him there.
That's true.
And here's Shaquille O'Neal at the free throw line. So many people question exactly what is wrong with Shaq at the foul strike. Calvin Murphy, you were one of the best to ever take the free throw line in the NBA. What do you feel is the problem with Shaquille?
Well, I know what the problem is. There's 4 mechanical mistakes that he's making. Number 1, he doesn't use his legs. Number 2, he's shooting the ball off his fingers instead of out of his hand. Number 3, he leaves the line after a shot. And number 4, he doesn't have the confidence that's needed from that line.
Cassell rejected away. Tip ball, Akeem comes up with it. Jump shot. Rebound to Ori, and he lays it in. Orlando looking to run. Nearly a turnover. Shaw. Got it. Brian Shaw hits the trifecta.
Well, you know, Shaw has taken the place of Nick Anderson's offensive ability. He's come off the bench big for the Orlando's team, and his confidence is soaring. They're going to have to spend some time now realizing that he's for real.
Mario Ellie trying to get it inside to Akeem Olajuwon, a little too much on the pass.
Now the Orlando Magic are now up by 5 points with the ball, possibly going up 7. The Rockets cannot lose their composure. They've got to weather this storm right now.
Hardaway. And a whistle.
It's illegal defense on the part of the Rockets.
That is the second infraction called on Houston, so the Orlando Magic will shoot a technical free throw.
The Rockets have got to be concerned about one thing at this point in the game. Are they allowing the Magic to have too much confidence on their floor? They have got to right now elevate their game emotionally to take it away. Now here's the illegal defense. You got Olajuwon that is below the foul line, that's not guarding anybody. He should be above, within 6 feet of the man he's guarding. That's where they got the illegal defense.
Hardaway posting up. Jump shot is good.
There's the confidence we just talked about. There's 7-point differential between the teams now. Actually, there's 8.
You throw on that technical free throw, and Orlando has its biggest lead of the game. Olajuwon with Shaquille. Ori. A 3-second violation is called.
Orlando has done a fabulous job cutting off Olajuwon's potent inside game. The Rockets seem to be in a little disarray right now, not taking the shot given to them. They're trying to do a little too much. Take what the defense gives you and just be confident that you can make it.
Shaquille O'Neal is fouled. Charles Jones will get called for the personal. An 11-2 run for Orlando, and they are gaining confidence by the second.
Okay, now here's where they do a nice job. They allow the Rockets don't allow them to back in, so Hardaway turns and faces the defense, and because of his size, is able to shoot over and score.
It was an isolation play for Hardaway. Here's O'Neal.
Now, the one thing you don't want to happen is to get Shaquille O'Neal comfortable around that foul line, because as the game wears on, he's gonna take a lot of trips to that line. He's averaging something in the neighborhood of 13 free throws a game. That's a lot. I didn't have that for a whole month when I played.
He hits 1 out of 2.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see Kenny Smith come into the game soon. There's 4 minutes left in this half, and Sam has really not been that effective.
Cassell off the drive. High off the glass and in. Sam Cassell.
But they call a charge on that play.
Brian Shaw came over, and Sam Cassell is called for the offensive foul.
Well, let's take a look at it if we can later on. Because, oh, here it is right now. Sam goes right behind now. There it is. Shaw had position. Sam took the action to him. That's a good call.
Anderson. Nick Anderson still cannot get a bucket.
That's all right. Shaw can.
Mario Ellie. Straight down the lane, and Ellie cashes in.
Now, that's one of the very few times the Rockets have been able to get a break because they missed the shot. They've been shooting, Orlando's been shooting the ball so well, there's been very little opportunity to run.
Houston pushing the tempo. Cassell finds Olajuwon. He backs it off the glass and in. Hakeem Olajuwon. And all of a sudden, the Orlando lead is 5. The crowd now getting involved. Shaw knifing down the lane in a foul. Charles Jones gets credit for the foul.
That was a good foul. Now here's Sam Cassell looking at the trailer coming down, who happens to be Mario Ellie, where he's able to go to the basket strong. Now, Sam realizes the defense has come over and stopped his penetration to the basket. He puts the ball up high, allows Olajuwon to go get it and get an easy basket.
(51-46) Orlando, coming up on 3 minutes to go, first half. Shaw. Rebound to Shaquille. Shaq with a ball fake, and he hits the deck.
Good call.
Offensive foul is called on Shaquille O'Neal.
I say good call because Shaquille took his offhand, being the left hand, and was able to use it as a battering ram to fend Olajuwon away. Now let's take a look at it. Olajuwon was going to the basket strong, and there it is. That free hand going out. But Shaquille, of course, disagrees.
We've got a timeout on the floor. 2 minutes, 56 seconds to go in the second quarter. Orlando's lead is shrinking. The Magic 51, the Rockets 46. 2 games to none. Better than 16,000 on hand here at the Summit in Houston, Texas. They love their basketball here, and they are believers in 1995. A lot of people last year weren't quite on the bandwagon. Calvin, you were telling me earlier, everybody's a part of Rocket Fever now.
Well, yeah, last year they loved their team. This year they adopted them, and there's the difference. Now, there's Kenny Smith that was just brought back to the game in place of Sam Cassell, as I had indicated earlier. Now you got Clyde Drexler being able to go to the basket because Kenny, you know, has that three-point threat from the opposite side of the floor. You can always find the ball going into the other shooter because they'll be opposite where Kenny is.
Shaw with an air ball. Shaquille looking to jam it down, and a foul. Clyde Drexler. The Clyde is just so dangerous because he can't hurt you from the outside game and obviously hurt you on the inside. For Orlando, they're looking to go to the interior.
Now, this is what cannot happen to the Rockets. You cannot have a baseline shot, Olajuwon come over to contend it, and have the ball get from the other side an offensive rebound by the place Olajuwon just left. That means the weak side has got to come in, get position, and come up with that basketball.
Brian Shaw's air ball actually turned out to be a pretty good pass.
Yes, it did.
O'Neal at the free throw line.
Now, if you look at O'Neal shoot this ball, the ball's on his fingers and not in his hand. So what happens is you end up poking the ball instead of stroking it. There's too much room inside that hand.
And he missed two.
There's another poke. Excellent camera work, by the way.
Indeed. Orlando up by 3, but Houston has the ball. We come up on 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. Smith open, looking at 3.
Oh, he was too open. He's not used to being that wide open. He shot the ball short. Anytime you shoot the ball that short, that means that you measured the basket.
O'Neal off the double team. Shaq over Elijah.
Now, there's what you want Shaq to do. Fade away.
Smith in the open court. The dish off and the dunk. Kenny Smith with a feed.
Now, notice the matchup. They put Elijah back on Shaquille to slow him down, and they're still going to try to get help.
Anderson's pass was deflected off the fingertips of Clyde Drexler. Orlando will have the basketball.
It's just a matter of time, by the way, before Nick Anderson gets involved in this game. I hope the Rockets realize that this young man who's not involved right now has a lot of potential and a lot of talent, and he can come to the forefront any moment.
Anderson has 7 rebounds and 2 assists, but no points. And Houston has outscored Orlando 8-0 over the last 2+ minutes. Magic up by 1. Scott with a pump fake. With a shot clock winding down. Smith, Drexler. And a foul. Clyde Drexler will have a chance to give Houston the lead at the free throw line.
One pass too many on the part of the Rockets. Kenny Smith was received the ball out. Let's take a look at it. Robert Horry kicks the ball out. Now, as they're going down, they have a 2-on-1, and Kenny Smith on this particular situation is able to get Drexler involved. But the next time they come down the floor, Kenny, being a pure point guard, gets a little overzealous with the passing when he should have taken the layup. And he put Clyde in an awkward situation where, luckily, he was fouled.
Drexler shooting 80% from the free throw line during the playoffs, averaging better than 20 points and 6 rebounds a game. Pete Chilcutt enters action.
Now Elijah comes out of the game with 1 minute and 13 seconds to go to get a breather and to make sure he doesn't pick up that 3rd foul that could be very crucial going into the second half.
A smart move by Rudy Tomjanovich. Hakeem's team is tied with Orlando. 60 seconds to go, second quarter. Hardaway finding an opening. Houston can take the lead. Horry, the finger roll.
Anytime Elijah leaves the game, the other team will attack the basket. The Rockets did a nice job defensively coming over, stopping that sure layup.
Horace Grant. Scott is tripped up. And a foul is called.
Now that foul was called on Robert Horry, who felt that he was charged into knockdown and was caused, and the knockdown was caused him to get the foul on the floor. Now let's take a look at that foul if we may. Now, all right, he takes the charge. He's knocked down. The pass goes over, and you have Robert called for tripping.
Dennis Scott at the free throw line.
See, there's an example of can't win for losing when you do the right things on one side of the floor, you're knocked away, and the pass is made, and you get incidental contact, but nevertheless, even incidental contact is a foul.
Dennis Scott with a chance to tie. And he does.
The Rockets have done a nice job fighting back from a deficit of, what, 9 points to get back to a tie. Now they want to go into halftime with a lead. And of course, Orlando would like to stop that by putting on 2 strong defensive sets.
Drexler with the isolation. Drexler with a turnaround. Drexler with a rebound. And a loose ball foul.
Right call. The referee pointed in the wrong direction.
Loose ball foul, matching number 31, Jeff Turner.
Jeff Turner is called for the loose ball foul, so Houston able to hold on to possession.
Let's just take a look at it now. he just simply muscled Robert Ory to the ground. You know, it always amazes me how these big, strong athletes are thrown to the floor so easily.
Robert Ory goes to the free throw line. He can give the Houston Rockets the lead with 7.4 seconds left in the second quarter.
The way it looks as though the free throw line is going to determine this game eventually. Both teams are shooting the free throws poorly. Now that's unusual for the Rockets to miss as many free throws as they've had so far. The Rockets have missed 5 to date.
The Rockets 6 of 10, Orlando 9 of 13, and a 22nd timeout has been called. Calvin Murphy, an expert of free throw shooting. When you saw the statistics at the end of the season and the Orlando Magic last in that category, did you figure it would catch up to them at some point? It hasn't yet, even though Game 1 did cost them. They are in the NBA Championship Series.
That just shows you how talented that team is, that they were the worst shooting team in the league and were able to win as many games as they did without being prolific in that area. But anytime you have a team that plays another team, say 7 times, it's going to eventually catch up, especially when both teams mirror one another in talent, and the game should be decided by 1 or 2 points.
The things that people question with the Orlando Magic, free throw shooting. The things that the so-called experts question with the Houston Rockets, rebounding.
Well, rightfully so, because Orlando's a poor a free throw shooting team, and the Rockets are a poor rebounding team, so the experts in both instances are correct.
Ory breaks the tie. Houston up by 1. Orlando will have one final chance before the halftime buzzer. 1 second. Hardaway. And that's it. End of the first half. The Houston Rockets clinging to a 1-point lead. 2 quarters of play complete here at the Summit in Houston, Texas. The Rockets leading this one 54-53. They are 2 quarters away from taking a 3-0 lead. As they walk to the locker room, Rudy Tomjanovich will have a chat with his team, talk a little bit about strategy for the second half. Orlando,
by putting a quality product on the floor.
Brian Hill talking to his team during the halftime break. I'm sure telling them that this is a must-have.
To tell you the kind of defense the Rockets played, the Magic didn't score a field goal in the last 4 minutes and 43 seconds of the first half. They've got to maintain that type of defensive intensity.
The second half is underway. Houston up by 1. Same starting 5s for both teams. Ellie.
Magic foul number 3, Dennis Scott.
It's called on Dennis Scott away from the basketball.
You know, the referees have been very, very cautious out there tonight, not allowing players to impede the progress of the offensive player going to the basket. No hand checking.
So a new shot clock. Ellie.
Drifted, bad shot. Ellie took that shot, he was drifting to the left, and that makes it a very difficult shot.
Grant with a turnaround. And Olajuwon with a rebound. Drexler. Pull-up jumper.
You notice how Drexler wanted that shot. He went between his legs to stall for time to Olajuwon can come from the opposite side, get underneath the basket for a possible rebound if he missed. And they had good defensive balance in the back just in case.
Scott, wide open 3. Drexler pushing the pace. Smith took the dish. And a foul is called.
That's not a very good call. And I say that because the ball had been gone 3 steps before there was any contact. Now there's the ball, all right, 2 steps, and he was close to the rim, and they gave him a bonus by allowing him to accept that charge.
The offensive foul on Drexler. They go inside. O'Neal uncontested.
That's a 4-point play. 2 that the Rockets lost on easy layup, and they come back and Shaquille involved with his good positioning inside. He does such a wonderful job positioning himself. Obviously, he's so strong that he can basically take any position he wants.
But Olajuwon gets the bucket, and the foul. Hakeem Olajuwon with a chance at a three-point play.
You know, how long are you going to keep the good ones down? I don't care what kind of defense you set up against them.
Olajuwon with his 15th point of the game. He's got a chance to make it 16. The Shaq with his third personal. The Dream.
That foul shot was kind of iffy, wasn't it?
It sure was.
But see, that just tells you the pressure that's placed upon this game on both sides.
But it counts just the same. O'Neal gets the roll. Soft touch off the jump hook.
Now, O'Neal wants to come across with his right hand, little sweeping hook shot. So that means the weak side that's on the defense on the left has got to come over quickly.
Olajuwon had the hole clogged up by Shaquille. They go inside again. Horry straight up with a three. Drexler somehow comes up with the offensive rebound. The Dream off the spin. Drains it.
There's that intensity we talked about the Rockets needing when they come out to start the second half.
O'Neal gets another bucket. Shaquille O'Neal working hard on the interior.
Now you knew they were going to do that. He's too valuable to not to keep him involved in the offensive scheme.
Ball was knocked out of bounds, and Houston will hold on to it.
Now the first half, Shaquille only had 8 points. He brought that up now. Now here's just good blue-collar basketball. When I say blue-collar, just hard work.
Fans here wanted a foul called on Shaquille O'Neal. They didn't get it. Hardaway backing in. Grant, he was hot in the first quarter. And he picks it up here in the third quarter.
Well, I tell you, what's so good about Grant's game is the fact that he has gotten himself involved. He's not waiting for his teammates to get him involved, per se.
Tied at 61. This is the 11th tie of the ball game. Shot clock winding down. Olajuwon. Put it.
Yes, it is. That jump hook. And this is what Shaquille O'Neal is going to start to do more, is get himself involved where he can get a little jump hook and score.
Grant. Horry cleans the glass. Olajuwon with Shaquille. Smith pump fake. Bad pass. Horry comes up with it.
Now, see, there's an example of great defense causing the offense to stay off balance.
Grant with a hesitation. He gets the bucket. The 12th tie of the ball game.
Now, the Rockets have got to become opportunists. That's what the Orlando Magic has been all game long. They've taken what the defense has given them.
Horry, baseline, had the ball stripped. Anderson comes up with it. Hardaway wants to run.
Good transition defense by the Rockets, slowing that fast break down. Now Orlando's going to patiently take it inside, get Shaquille involved once again.
Scott with the entry pass to Shaquille. They work it around the perimeter. Anderson knocks down the three. Nick Anderson has been quiet all night long. He's finally woken up. And Rudy Tomjanovich wants to talk it over. A timeout call. Nick Anderson did not score in the first half. He drains the three-pointer. Orlando leads by 3. With the Chicago Bulls, and his experience is paying off here in Game 3.
Well, the experience you talk about is just the fact that he's very calm in his game. He doesn't see any urgency in anything. He's staying within the flow of what the team's trying to do collectively, offensively.
Grant in the right place at the right time, and he got the garbage point there.
Well, the one thing that any team wants to do against a penetrator is to keep him on the outside so he can't get a player like a Grant involved. Now, he does a nice job defensively stripping the ball from Robert Horry, who should have gone to the basket with more power instead of trying to put a little hoop-de-doo into his game. It's no time for showtime. It's time to go there with his ability, his athleticism, to go and dunk that ball.
Orlando up by 3. Houston with the ball. Ellie looks inside to Akeem. It's a two-man game. Ellie off the jump shot. Banks it off the glass and in. Mario Ellie using the backboard.
I tell you, he's another one that has not been called upon to give a lot of points, but he's doing it well tonight.
You get the aerial shot of the three-point attempt from Anderson. In and out. He was looking for two in a row. Grant tracked down the rebound. O'Neal, drop step, slammed it down. What a dunk by Shaquille O'Neal. He rocked the rim.
Anytime you allow a team to either get a loose ball or an offensive rebound, you put yourself in a position to get what happened to the Rockets right there. You got Shaquille to get himself inside for an easy dunk.
Drexler called for the foul, and O'Neal completes the three-point play.
Now the Rockets have got to be very careful now. The momentum is starting to swing again. They did the right things early, the first 6 minutes of the third quarter, but now they're getting a little careless.
Orlando gaining confidence.
And leaps in bounds.
Olajuwon. Akeem gets the roll. He is a confidence killer.
Yes, he is.
The lead is 2. We are past the halfway point of the third period. Hardaway using his size. Anderson tries his luck for three, and he drills it.
Now, there is a team that works together to get an individual that's having a hard time struggling involved in the game. During the halftime, I'm sure they talked about just play your game. We'll get you involved.
Olajuwon. What a move, but he couldn't cash in. Scott off the push. Rockets get back on defense. Hardaway waiting for Shaq to get position. Again, it's Anderson. Smith knifing down the lane.
Oh, see, that's unfortunate, but you've got to make that basket. This game is going to be determined by how many of the easy shots can be made. The layups, the foul shots, things of that nature.
Orlando up by 5.
But Shaquille O'Neal will change that for you.
Hardaway misses the three. Ori with a long baseball pass. Smith, pump fake shot, rejected away by Hardaway.
Now, great defensive play by Penny.
Open man is Scott. Rebound to Olajuwon.
Now,
Houston
don't shy away,
before.
Kenny. Kenny is...
Olajuwon, easy layup. The perfect pass from Drexler. He led him right to the hoop.
You know, I smile and giggle at the fact that Hardaway went 94 feet to catch up with a bullet pass and was able, they tried to pump fake him off his feet. He maintained and watched the ball leave Kenny's hand, and then went up and blocked it.
Scott fakes the three. Grant with a jump shot. And a 3-second violation has been called on the Orlando Magic.
How many times has that happened? The big man gets inside for positioning, and they make one pass too many. Now there's a great defensive play by Penny Hardaway.
As Calvin mentioned, Hardaway had to come from the other side of the floor just to come back and play defense. You see that red paint area. You can't sit in that area for more than 3 seconds.
Known as the key.
Five to shoot, Drexler.
Now, anytime the Rockets take a shot, there's nobody hanging around trying to get any opportunity baskets. Everybody's retreating and trying to get their transition basket, their transition defense working so that they don't get easy baskets against them.
O'Neal, they collapse on him. Jumper from Scott. He can't find the touch.
Well, that's because the defense is running at him.
Cassell checked into the game. Olajuwon off the spin. Ball was blocked away, and a whistle. Penny Hardaway is called for the personal. Olajuwon working on Shaquille O'Neal, the battle of the big men.
When Olajuwon takes 2 to 3 dribbles, that's too much time. That gives the defense a chance to get back with him. He's got to make his move quicker, or before he puts the ball on the floor, see where the defense is coming from, where he can perhaps pass the ball to where the defense is leaving.
A lot of respect between these two players. They have nothing but high praise for one another. Hakeem Olajuwon.
That's very uncharacteristic of the Rockets, or especially of Olajuwon, to make 50% of their free throws.
Olajuwon shooting 68% during the postseason. Anderson trying to post up. That didn't work. Cassell looking to make things happen. Entry pass to Olajuwon. Jump hook.
Now they're making Olajuwon work too hard. Offensively, everybody got to get involved. The defense of the Magic has become very prolific because all they have to do is concentrate in one direction. That's inside.
Clyde Drexler is called for another foul. Penny Hardaway taking it to the hoop, and we've got a timeout. Hardaway with that stutter step move.
And
Tough to defend.
Yes, it is. And what's even more important at this stage is that Drexler picked up his 4th foul.
2:38 remaining in the third quarter. The Orlando Magic leading by 2, 72-70.
Brown onto the floor. I think he's going to try now to get a little more activity defensively around that basket. That's one thing Chucky does well. He has very good speed laterally, and he helps out defensively very well on big men.
Hardaway shooting a pair of free throws. First one is no good. Chucky Brown contributed 8 points in game number 2. He provided a spark off the bench in that second quarter.
Robert Horry has not really been involved, and one thing he does well, he keeps people active when he's shooting well from the perimeter.
Ellie. And Grant comes up with another rebound. He's done a good job on the boards here in the third period.
But the Rockets have got to make their inside shots the way that the Magic have done. The Magic have had a better inside game than the Rockets so far.
Scott partially blocked. McKee throws it up ahead. Horry, showtime! Robert Horry with a two-handed jam, and he puts a charge into this Summit crowd. Orlando up by 1. Hardaway posting up, pops it up to Grant.
Now there's what Chucky Brown does so well. He stays active. Now the Magic does a nice job defensively getting back in transition defense.
Olajuwon spins. Shot was blocked away and a foul.
With Shaquille O'Neal on the bench, the Rockets are going to try to use that situation to their advantage. Now, there's a good example of Robert Horry, who went out to block a shot and kept going. The Rockets were able to get the rebound, kick it down, and get themselves an easy dunk.
And the presence of mind of Hakeem Olajuwon to find his teammate cutting to the hoop.
Well, see, this is where Olajuwon over the last couple of years has really improved his game by his passing to his teammates, not only full court on the easy passes, but when they find the seam and go to the basket.
Cassell for 3. He's got it! The Rockets have regained the lead. Sam Cassell feeling the touch from the outside. Houston up by 2.
Now Shaw's back in the game, and Shaw's had a tremendous game so far.
Shaw trying to work inside. Shaw lost the ball. Cassell picks it up. Cassell on the move. Couldn't get the short jumper to fall. Clearly a turnover. Shaw out of control. The Magic will slow it down. Time running out here in the third quarter. Shot clock winding down. Hardaway with a jump shot.
Good jump shot. That's a nice shot. The Rockets did a good job. Mario Ellis did a nice job not allowing Penny Hardaway to get to the basket. But Penny Hardaway, using his smarts, didn't try to force it. He took what the defense gave him and had him a nice little 10-foot jump shot.
Knotted up at 75. There's a 6-second differential. Shot clock to game clock. Ellie doesn't get the roll. Orlando looking to beat the buzzer. Hardaway nearly passed it to the official. Bennett Salvatore out of bounds. Houston will have a final crack.
Now, Sam Cassell is very good in these situations. He has 4 seconds to go. He gets a good run at the basket, and he's very athletic.
Cassell, three-pointer. No good. That'll do it. Third quarter of play complete. Exciting action here from the Summit in Houston, Texas. Fans are on their feet.
Now, Sam Cassell gets down and gets a good look at the basket. And I tell you what, any other time, that ball would go in. But now here's a jump shot that he made earlier, but that's the same shot he takes every time he takes a shot.
End of 3 here from Houston. Or at 7 leaps and bounds internationally.
It's interesting, the combinations that are out on the floor right now. Magic has Shaw and Bowie in the game, 2 bench players to start this fourth quarter off. The Rockets have Chucky Brown out there and Sam Cassell in the same direction.
O'Neal gets the bucket and the foul.
And that foul, I think, is on Olajuwon. No, they gave it to Mario Ellie, who came over and supported. Now, you know, it's so interesting when you start looking at the beginning of a game. Whoever gets the ball from the jump will receive the ball the first time in the fourth quarter. And you've got to use that to your advantage. And this is what the Magic has just done. They've gotten something out of that possession.
O'Neal unable to hit the free throw. The lead is 2. Horry pops out. Looks to Olajuwon. Olajuwon with the pump, the spin, the shot. He's got it!
Well, I tell you what.
Bowie out of control.
Yeah, that's exactly the phrase got to be used. Now, Bowie is not brought out there to be the offensive threat. He's out there to be the utility man, to keep things going defensively. If he gets him some easy baskets, fine. But they're not looking to see Bowie go to the basket and try to create in that mode.
Tied for the 13th time. Olajuwon trying to break the tie. Rebound to Scott.
Too much Olajuwon.
Shaquille gets the pass. O'Neal banks it off the glass and in. Fans wanted a walk.
Now, more of the Rockets have got to get involved in the offense.
Cassell goes around the pick. And a foul.
Magic number 20, Ryan Shaw.
Ryan Shaw gets called for the personal. Hakeem Olajuwon working his magic on the interior and using the window. But back on the other end, Shaquille O'Neal says touche.
With a couple of extra shuffles of the feet.
Chucky Brown had the shot rejected, but he did draw the foul.
Now, there's where the Rockets, I think, has missed the boat somewhat this game. They've got very little activity coming from the weak side, the side away from the ball. They've tried to do everything on the side where Olajuwon has been posting up. They need more ball movement. They need more body movement to keep Orlando's defense from being able to dictate the shots they get.
Mario Ellie to the bench. Clyde Drexler checks in. Brown shooting 66% during the postseason from the line. Chucky Brown.
You see, there's the confidence that the coaches have in their reserve players. They put them in crucial times and expect them to come up with some big plays.
Shaw looks inside. They collapse on Shaquille. Chucky Brown came over. That is the second team foul on Houston here in the fourth quarter.
Now, the Rockets defensively have got to be very careful if they're going to all run at Shaquille. Shaquille passes the ball very well.
A pretty move by Brian Shaw using the left hand.
Now that's 14 points for Brian Shaw coming off the bench. That's a lot of numbers for a player coming off the bench that have got most of his points in opportunity situations.
Orlando has regained the lead. Ori thought about the three. Scott came over to defend it. Ori leaning in. It hit off the side of the backboard, and a foul is called. Scott doesn't agree with the call. But how often do you see players actually agree with the officials?
Very valid point.
We've got a timeout on the floor. Clyde Drexler has won games in the NBA Championship Series, but he hasn't won the ring. Drexler has been held in check in the third quarter, but it's fourth quarter time, and the Glide loves to shine. Robert Horry will have a chance to tie this game.
You know, I'm sitting here studying the players on the foul line. And I tell you, I'm looking to see repetition. I'm looking to see them do the same preparation every time, and they don't. This is one of the reasons why that there's been one too many free throws missed. And you know, I'm from the old school. If you miss one, that's one too many as far as I'm concerned.
Tie number 15. O'Neal. It's Shaq on the baseline. Drops it out to Hardaway. One to shoot. Scott gets it off in time, but doesn't hit the shot.
And that's like the third or fourth rebound by Chucky Brown since he's been inserted in the game.
Drexler. Shot was blocked from behind. Hakeem came up with it. Rejected away. Orlando with a break. Scott pull up.
See, that's being out-hustled. The Orlando's are doing a much better job scrapping around than the Rockets. So it appeared to me that it seems as though the Magic wants this game a little more than what the Rockets do at this stage.
And a new shot clock to work with. Hardaway drives in. The dish. The strip. And the turnover. We are tied at 81. Drexler off the drive, hanging in the air.
Looking for a foul. So you can't go to the basket expecting to be bailed out on a foul. You got to go to the basket strong.
O'Neal tried to slam it down in one motion. It didn't work out that way.
Now both teams have gone away from basics.
Things a little sloppy right now. Olajuwon. Horry, wide open three. Robert Horry knocks it down. Timeout has been called. Robert Horry, an unheralded player.
Remember now, Robert Horry was traded, brought back, started a whole new career within a year's time. He has been one of the main reasons the Rockets won the championship last year.
And he is gaining confidence here in the NBA Final. Houston up by 3. In Houston, first two games, the Rockets went on to Orlando's home floor and came out with wins. No team has ever lost the first two games at home and come back to win the championship.
You know, there's 8 minutes and 10 seconds left in this game. And when at the end of the game, we're going to look back upon this three-point shot by Horry as the turning point in this game. You know, both teams were sloppy for a couple of possessions, and he was able to maintain composure and hit that big three for the Rockets.
Horry's got 14 points. Grant. Book it.
Okay, there's a 2-point. There's 2 points, but that still gives the Rockets the lead. So if they come down and get 2 points, there's a 3-point back. This is how you got to start thinking about possessions when you're going down that fourth quarter.
Olajuwon hands it to Cassell, gets the return pass, and cashes in. Hakeem Olajuwon taking it to the hoop.
An old-fashioned two-man game. Set the pick, roll, get the ball, go to the basket.
The lead is 3. Shaquille O'Neal gets the bucket, and he has a chance at a 3-point play. And that could balance out the Robert Horry three.
Yeah, what they call a three-point play the old-fashioned way, by earning it.
Take a look at Shaquille shooting down on the basket.
But nevertheless, Olajuwon did a nice job making Shaquille fade away on that shot.
Free throws are a question, but he gets that one to go. Tie number 15. Cassell yet to really heat up. Olajuwon backs out. 3 to shoot. Olajuwon, the layup. And the putback.
Now he's going to take Shaquille away from the basket, turn and face and play a one-on-one game from the big forward position.
Grant lobs to Shaquille. Grant lost it. Sam Cassell picks it up.
All right, they're going to go back to the two-man game. The Rockets are going to try to milk it. Milk the situation simply means they're going to try to use it until it stops working.
Cassell couldn't get the jumper to fall.
Good shot, nevertheless.
Hardaway drives straight down the lane. Drexler now in transition. He waits for his teammates to come down the floor. They get it inside to Olajuwon. Extra pass. Chucky Brown. He gets the bucket. And they'll wave it off.
They waved it off because he was fouled on the floor. He was not in the active shooting, so that means the Rockets will take the ball out on the side.
Dennis Scott goes to the bench. Nick Anderson checks back in. That is the 5th personal called on Scott. Houston up by 2. Olajuwon with the ball fake. The spin. Orlando with a chance to tie. Shaquille, pass deflected.
Now they got to notice. Now the Rockets are doing a nice job defensively, but Orlando now has got to know what's on that shot clock. There's 10 seconds on the shot clock. Let's go back to Akeem playing from the big forward position. He puts the ball on the floor. He goes around Shaquille. He misses, but his momentum took him to the basket for the tip.
The Rockets on a break. Drexler down the lane. And some contact was made. Brian Shaw.
There's where Clyde Drexler is at his very best in the open floor. Once he gets even with the defense, he picks the ball up and he goes into that glide, and he has such elevation. This is where he's able to power up over defenses. Now there it is right there. He got even with the defense, so what he simply does is put pressure on the defense to stop him.
Clyde Drexler, 19 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. He can add to the point total right here.
Now, with 5 minutes to go in this game, 5:36, this is no time to be trading foul shots with making one, missing one.
The veteran, Clyde Drexler, hits on the first. The Rockets are up by 3. Charles Jones back in the game. Chucky Brown takes a seat. Drexler. And a loose ball foul. Charles Jones continues to add to his foul total here in the postseason.
Well, the problem with that foul was the next foul puts the Rockets in the penalty.
5.5 to play. O'Neal. Anderson, wide open 3. The putback wouldn't fall. Drexler looks to run. Drexler with a head of steam. Off to Horry. And a foul is called.
Now, there's where Clyde Drexler has added another dimension to the Rockets game with the trade. A big guard that rebounds well. Now, here he comes. He rebounds, and now he's taking the ball coast to coast, as they call it. As the defense packed up, he was able to make them react to him and up and over to Robert Horry, putting him on the line.
Horace Grant had no other choice He didn't want to allow Ori to get a wide open layup. Houston up by 4.
Now, Robert Ori has stepped up. He has 15 points. He started off very slowly. Remember, I mentioned that he had to get involved in the game the same way that they got Horace Grant involved in the game earlier.
This is Houston's biggest lead of the game. The Magic have to deal with this raucous Summit crowd. Anderson. Grant with the offensive rebound. Orlando will get another chance. Hardaway roaming baseline, turned it over.
That was good hands by Olajuwon, who knocked that ball away when Hardaway put it out there trying to go baseline.
Olajuwon finds the open man, Jones.
Oh, Jones backed away too quickly.
Olajuwon stuffed. Hardaway is pushed by Robert Ori.
There's the penalty.
Houston foul 25, Robert Ori. He's second. 15 foul.
Now here's a good overhead look at the last turnover. Olajuwon reached around and batted that ball from behind Hardaway, and the Rockets were able to pick it up. Now, unfortunately, they came back. They didn't capitalize on that particular play. Olajuwon took an ill-advised shot in that situation.
Free throw from Penny Hardaway goes down. Charles Jones didn't realize that he had a wide open layup.
He's not used to shooting.
Ori pushing Hardaway down to the ground, and they are over the limit.
Did a nice job in transition, and then did not a very smart thing. I think his teammates would call it a dumb thing in that instance.
You wouldn't call it a dumb thing, but...
Oh, no, I wouldn't call it a dumb thing. I would just choke him.
No, you weren't tough. No. Houston up by 3. Coming up on the 4-minute mark, fourth quarter. Drexler finds an opening.
Oh!
And throws it out of bounds.
Now, Drexler got away with it because the outside official called that it was tipped away from him.
The 3 officials will meet. Brian Hill is irate.
Well, every possession is so important now. Under 4 minutes to go.
Mario Ellie checks back in. Charles Jones goes to the bench.
Oh, Sam has got to be careful. That was a very, very good defensive play on the part of Penny Hardaway, who read that play all along. He simply played the passing lane and off of Sam, was able to come up with it. Anderson
Off the drive. Anderson hanging in the air. Cannot find the hoop. Drexler took it away. Drexler on the move. Ellie is fouled. Fans here want a flagrant foul. They're not going to get that call.
It was deliberate.
Let's take another look.
Okay, well, the Rockets do a nice job scrambling to get the ball. Now they have numbers. Clyde Drexler, it's a 2-on-1. He gives the ball up just like he's supposed to. Now here he goes to the basket, and he's on the line for 2. That was a good smart foul. Put pressure on him to make it from the line, opposed to having a nice, easy dunk.
Ellie shooting 76% during the postseason. And a friendly rim here at the Summit.
Why not? He probably put it up himself.
Ellie's got 13 points. He averages only 8.
Now the Rockets by 5. If they put together a good defensive set right now and come back and score, this game could be virtually over.
Hardaway goes around Ellie. And a foul. Mario Ellie just cannot believe it. And that will put Penny Hardaway to the line. It helps Orlando. It stops the clock, and it gives the Magic a chance to score some points.
Okay.
Ellie trying to defend Hardaway on the baseline, and they say he reached in.
Questionable. But give Penny Hardaway a lot of credit for doing the right thing. Penny could have taken a jump shot. He went to the basket.
After Hardaway hit the first, Rudy Tomjanovich called for a timeout. 3 minutes, 35 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Houston leading a close one. The Rockets 93, the Orlando Magic 89.
The foul line obviously is going to be the key. If Penny Hardaway splits on this line, make one, miss one, they lose momentum. But he makes it.
Penny Hardaway, only in his second year, showing some veteran capabilities. Three-point lead for the Rockets. Drexler looking for the isolation. Ellie, three-pointer. Got it!
Oh, big one. Now, Clyde Drexler read that defensive play all the way. As they came over to double team him, he threw the ball and was able to get a three-pointer by his teammate.
But O'Neal comes right back.
They're at it again. Shaquille with 26, Elijah with 31, neutralizing each other. So as we said from the outset of this broadcast, the other players are going to dictate who wins this game. That was a big three. That gives the Rockets still up by 4.
Shot clock is winding down. Drexler wants to go one-on-one with Anderson. He does. Shot was rejected away by Shaquille. Shaq came over. 96-92.
Well, it's all about defense now for the Rockets. They've got to get back quickly.
O'Neal backing in on Akeem, and a foul is called on the floor.
That's okay. Now, the reason I'm saying that's okay, that's Olajuwon's 4th foul with 2:26 to go, but that puts Shaquille on the line, and you know the problems he's been having from that line.
So far in this game, he is 4 of 9 from the stripe. During the playoffs, 58%. Pressure free throws for Shaquille O'Neal.
Shot it like he knew what he was doing.
Can he do it 2 times in a row?
Well, statistics says no.
What do you say?
No, I'm statistics. But statistics can be wrong. Sometimes the coaches don't read that statistics sheet.
I've heard that rumor. This one is close, 96-94, coming up on the 2-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Olajuwon with Shaq. Cassell goes inside. The Dream with a pump fake. Ball knocked around, and it's picked up by Scott.
Too much Olajuwon in that instance because the defense is able to guard him because the ball went in and nobody moved. Everybody stood and watched. You've got to give Olajuwon a target.
Shaq over the Dream. Rebound taken by Drexler. The Glide wants to run. Drexler slams it down. What a stuff by Clyde, the Glide Drexler. Oh!
Oh, they called the foul before that.
This crowd will not like the call. Drexler puzzled over the call. Bennett Salvatore wants to talk it over with the 2 other officials.
Another game violation assessed against Houston is the second, resulting in a technical foul.
So the basket.
Oh, my goodness. Now, that's ridiculous. I'm going to go on record and say that this is ridiculous. Now, Clyde comes through, and he makes a dunk, but he slams it down from emotion, and they call a delay of game. That has nothing to do with the situation at all.
So it basically counts for 1 point because Orlando was able to hit the technical free throw. But the basket does count.
The basket counts, but now that puts them in striking distance. Orlando can come back, hit a 3, and tie the game up again, whereas if they had that 1 foul shot cushion, they would have still maintained the lead and perhaps had the ball back whether they scored or missed.
The Magic connected on the free throw, so the lead is 3. O'Neal doesn't get the roll. Houston up by 3 with the ball.
The biggest offensive set for the Rockets is right now.
Pressure situation for the Houston Rockets. And Rudy Tomjanovich wants to call a timeout. 98-95, Houston on top with 1:20 to go in Game 3 of the 1995 NBA Finals. Rudy Tomjanovich calling a timeout. And now the Rockets with a pressure possession. Drexler spins and banks it home. What a big shot by Clyde Drexler. Rockets up by 5, coming up on 1 minute remaining. Three-point attempt. Got it! Nick Anderson drains it.
But nevertheless, that gives Rockets a two-pointer.
Ellie looking for the open man, and he's forced to call a timeout.
Now, the mistake made by the Rockets is that obviously they wasted a timeout because they couldn't get the ball across half court. But Sam Cassell made the mistake not going to get the ball from the beginning.
Nick Anderson hitting the big bucket for the Orlando Magic.
Well, the Rockets were rotating. Shaquille, who's done a nice job all game long moving that ball to the open man, gave Anderson enough time to get his feet underneath him, lean towards the basket, and score.
Anderson with a cool, calm demeanor. Big difference from what we saw in Game 1 when he missed 4 consecutive free throws down the stretch. If he hit just one, Orlando would be in a different situation tonight. Orlando is down by 2. We take a look at the timeouts. Orlando with 3 and a 20. Houston with just 2 remaining. Cassell lobs it. Ellie off to Orange. Went for the jam and a foul. Robert Horry extending that right arm, and he got fouled.
That's what I talked about earlier in the third quarter about Robert Horry going to the basket and using his athleticism, his jumping ability to go, opposed to having the circus hoop-de-doo and try to finesse.
It was nearly a backcourt violation. You have 10 seconds to get it across the midcourt stripe. Very, very close. Horry to shoot a pair. No good.
All right, well, this one has got to be good. 2 reasons. Momentum, keep it going in your direction, and obviously they need another bucket for a 3-point lead.
Horry 5 of 7 tonight from the stripe. 77% during the postseason. Nothing but net.
Okay, now the Rockets are going to try defensively to play up on the 3-point stripe and make them take the ball inside for 2.
Shaquille. Grant, jump shot. Good. Horace Grant able to bury it. And he keeps the Magic close, down by 1.
Okay, here's the biggest possession for the Rockets. They've got to get something out of it. They've got to either get to the foul line or they've got to be able to score from the field. They cannot allow the Magic to get the ball back.
Horry, 3-pointer. Buries it! Robert Horry from downtown.
That was a big, really big shot of this series. Not just of this game, but of the series, because if the Rockets go on to win and make it a 3-0 lead, that one shot will be replayed and played again.
Another clutch 3-pointer by Robert Horry. And they are celebrating at the Summit in Houston, Texas. Rockets lead by 4. Only 14.1 seconds to go. We get another look. Horry behind the 3-point stripe. He knew it all the way. Robert Horry is maturing before our eyes.
20 big points. He started off very quiet. He's getting the playing time, so he doesn't have to rush into anything offensively. He's just biding. He's biding his time very well tonight. When his opportunities came up, he capitalized on them.
This is a 2-possession game any way you look at it. 4-point deficit for the Magic. They need to get a quick bucket and then foul. Rudy Tomjanovich in rocket heaven. The bench on its feet. And that could be the shot that puts the Magic away. Shaquille O'Neal.
Is that the shot heard around the world?
It could be.
Down the stretch.
Rudy Tomjanovich going over that with his team during the timeout. Houston 104, Orlando 100. 14.1 seconds to go.
That's right. Don't follow behind the three-point line.
Three-pointer. Short. Fight for the rebound. Knocked out of bounds. Houston ball. Rockets are going to go up 3-0. A foul is called in the backcourt. 5.9 seconds to go. Rocket fans can taste victory. Brian Hill tasting defeat. The Rockets are 5.9 seconds away from taking an insurmountable 3-0 lead. Drexler.
Oh, all you need is one. All you need is one. One security.
Horace Grant checks in for Jeff Turner.
Now, Clyde has had a rough time from that foul line today. He's played well, but he shoots normally better than what he's done from the line.
The glide. And a timeout. The last 5.9 seconds, academic. The Houston Rockets are going to go up 3-0. Penny Hardaway, an all-first-team NBA performer, only in his second year. So many things in front of this young man. But at this moment, he's focused on the NBA Finals. Clyde Drexler going for his first championship. He's been to the finals twice before with the Portland Trail Blazers. Both times, he did not come away with a ring.
Well, two things. Don't foul. Don't stop the clock.
105 to 100. Long three-pointer is good. Nick Anderson drills it from way downtown. 105 to 103. Is this one over yet?
Yeah, this one's over. This one's over because Sam Cassell will make both of these. But now,
Anderson with the long heave from three-point range. Cassell was fouled following the three-point basket.
now I think that explains the statement we made earlier about his ability to play this game. Let's erase the problem of the 4 free throws. That clouded somewhat of a brilliant year for this young man.
The Magic would not be here without Nick Anderson. He helped stop Michael Jordan. He helped stop Reggie Miller. Sam Cassell will shoot 2.
I'm interested to know what the timeout situation is. I've lost track of what the foul line, what the timeout situation is.
A 20-second timeout has been called by Orlando, so they will try and ice Sam Cassell. If he hits 1 of 2, it will give the Rockets a 3-point lead.
You
If
know,
he hits both, this one is over.
here again, you can think too much in basketball. You make the first, you miss the second, you let them battle for the ball, it's over. Now, Houston still has 2, so Orlando has a full. So if the Rockets were to make both of them, they're going to call a timeout, bring it up to half court, and still have an opportunity to stay in this game. So do you miss the second one? You tell me.
I do not.
You big chicken.
See, you're a bit of a camper. You're a riskier guy.
That's why I'm not coaching.
Exactly. That's why you're up here. The idea being, Calvin, saying if you miss the second one and they get the rebound, time would probably run out on
That's
them.
right. There's 2.2 seconds on the clock.
Cassell's first attempt. No good. The door is still open. Cassell with his second attempt. This would give Houston a 3-point lead. He's got it. And a timeout has been called by Brian Hill. Orlando needs some magic.
Well, here's the magic. The ball goes in. Do you allow them to take another three? There was a Hail Mary on that last one they just made. Do you allow them to shoot it for a overtime game, or do you foul them, immediately put them on that line to give them 2 shots?
Well, let's look back to game number 1. Brian Hill had that same decision out there in the open. He elected to allow Kenny Smith to take the three-pointer, and Smith buried it. A lot of people questioned Coach Hill afterwards, saying, if you just foul him there, maybe he makes 2 free throws, you're still up by 1 with a basketball.
Well, now, with 2.2 seconds on the clock, as a ball handler, you have time to get the ball, 1 bounce for rhythm, and rear up and take the shot. You don't have time for head and shoulder fakes or for any fantastic nothing. What you're simply trying to do is get yourself square to the basket so you can get a good look at it quickly. That's enough time to get a jump shot off, but it's not enough time to set your man up.
Orlando has marksman. Dennis Scott, Eddie Hardaway, Nick Anderson. Any one of those 3 players can hit a three-pointer with 2.2 seconds to go.
Now, if there's one flaw that has been in the Rockets game today, it's from that foul line. They've had chances to really put this game away, but they've missed the back end of a lot of 2-shot fouls.
The Orlando Magic, they need a prayer. They're down by 3. 2.2 seconds to go from the Summit in Houston, Texas.
Well, now, you know prayers are answered. The Rockets needed one in the first game and got it.
Orlando hoping the NBA gods are looking down upon them right now. Brian Hill diagramming a play. They still have another timeout if they don't like the setup, or if they can't get it in.
Well, the Rockets got to be very careful now that they don't get a delay of game, because they've already got a technical on it.
Another delay of game would turn into a technical free throw. 106 to 103, Houston.
Do not foul at anyone taking a 3-point shot, because remember now, the rule says you get 3 foul shots.
Penny Hardaway, three-pointer. Air ball. It's over. Orlando's huge goal has just been dug a little bit deeper. Houston is 1 win away from defending their NBA championship.